Well, the Aeon Mall had apparently just reopened last month when it marked 10 years since it was also badly damaged by another earthquake in Kumamoto.
So it was meant to be a fresh start. It had to close for months after the 7.3 magnitude earthquake back in 2016. And the refurbishment plan took years to finish. So when it reopened in June, there was a bit of excitement. The mall highlighting its earthquake-ready features like seismically reinforced ceilings and also other improvements.
That's right. Well, for more assessments of what we're seeing, let's cross over now to Robert Geller. He's a professor emeritus of seismology at the University of Tokyo. Thank you for joining us, Professor. So when a newly rebuilt mall designed to withstand earthquakes suffers this level of damage, what's your assessment of what we are seeing right now? What do you think played the biggest role?
Well, information is not definite, but I think the mall withstood the earthquake itself reasonably well, with some damage. But then, if there was a gas leak and a gas explosion, as apparently is the case, then that was not designed for. It could not be designed for. So it goes to show you, you can reduce damage significantly by proper design and planning. But from time to time, something unexpected will always happen, unfortunately.
So, Professor, does that mean you're reasonably confident that a building that was made earthquake-proof by refurbishment in 2016, for example, in this particular case, is reasonably sound and it can still withstand earthquakes if they happen, today at the present?
Yes, I think so. But the problem was not the overall structure of the building, but if you have restaurants with cooking facilities inside the building, that if they didn't properly secure the gas lines, then this was a design failure. And the explosion, the building was designed to withstand earthquakes, but not explosions. So it goes to show you that it's not only the safety of the structure itself, but of the furnishings and gas lines and so on inside the building that also apparently were not sufficient.
I understand, Professor. So it's other factors that may have come into play, like the gas leak. But can you actually ever fully earthquake-proof a building, Professor, or a country? Do we have the engineering expertise right now?
Well, you can reduce the risk very largely through proper design, but I don't think it's ever possible to reach exactly 0.000. Something always will happen from time to time. But what I will say is that looking at the pictures on TV, there was lots of damage. But considering that this was a magnitude 7.1 earthquake under a populous area, I think the earthquake resistance provisions in Kumamoto worked reasonably well, but not perfectly.
Okay, Professor. So turning to what comes next, I mean, more than 60 aftershocks have already been recorded so far. What should people expect over the next few hours and days? And what risks do those aftershocks pose?
Well, they should expect more aftershocks for sure. And the risks they pose are to already damaged buildings that one little might put them over the edge now. So people should stay out of damaged buildings. Also, if you have rain, then even smaller earthquakes can cause landslides in already weakened hillsides. Now, there's one other thing. Going back 10 years to 2016, 2 days after what was thought to be the main shock, a much larger earthquake, magnitude 7.4, hit. So when we talk about quote-unquote aftershocks, there's a possibility that the so-called aftershock one of them might be even larger than the earthquake yesterday.
Okay. So
That doesn't
Professor,
happen.
I understand,
Yes.
Professor. So I do want to ask you about early warning systems. Apparently, Japan has one of the best in the world, but we also know that people in the area apparently receive earthquake warnings on their phones just seconds before the tremor struck. So this suggests the response is more reactive and not so much predictive. Have we not gotten better at telling when an earthquake or an aftershock that's going to be significant is going to take place?
Well, unfortunately, no. Let me clarify the earthquake, the so-called, there's no way to predict earthquakes before they happen, unfortunately. What we can do is after an earthquake happens, if we have sensors right near the source, we can give warnings of a few seconds to people farther away. So the warnings you're discussing are made by detecting seismic waves near the source and then warning people that the seismic waves are coming. So those warnings can be helpful a little bit, but maybe it's not a perfect solution, I'm afraid.
Okay. And events like this naturally raise concerns about bigger earthquakes, Professor. And just last week, researchers reported new findings suggesting that the Nankai Trough may be more dynamic than previously thought. I mean, should people connect the latest quake with that research, or are they separate issues?
Well, from my own experience in seismic research is that there are no prospects for reliable and accurate predictions or forecasts. Now, I don't like to be critical of any of my colleagues, but maybe some of them, in their eagerness to get funding for their research, are a bit overly optimistic about their ability to make reliable forecasts of the future, which unfortunately so far are based on models that are incorrect, like the idea that earthquakes occur with some kind of periodicity. So I think those things should be considered as research and not things that can be applied for disaster mitigation at the moment.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. Good to see you this morning. Robert Geller is Professor Emeritus of Seismology at the University of Tokyo.